Hello, my Viking friends. Mark here with Wolters World, and we're in Oslo, Norway, at the Folkemuseum, the Norwegian Folk Museum. And yes, I was exploring here in Oslo and found some stuff for the kids. And today what we have for you are basically the 10 things that you should do when you do come here to Oslo. Now, my favorite thing to do when I do come to Oslo is going to the Viking Ship Museum. It's actually, they have 3 longboats they've actually brought out of the ground and put into this museum. It is very cool because these are the boats that they were using to sail off, and actually these are burial boats. That's why they still have them. They weren't sunk and stuff like that. But you go there and you can see how the Vikings, you understand, wow, I can see how that boat could make it. I can see how these things were, and it's actually one of the coolest museums in the entire country. Actually, it's my favorite thing to see in the entire country, that and the fjords. So that is the first thing you should definitely do, is go to the Viking Museum, the Viking Ship Museum. It doesn't take that long to see it all, but it's well worth doing it. Now, the second thing to do when you're here in Oslo is come here to the Folk Museum, the Norwegian Folk Museum, because you see all these great architecture around here. They have the people, reenactors. They have, what was the pharmacy like over the last 150 years? What was dentistry like? They have, they have a little thing where they show the blacksmith pulling people's teeth out. Oh my God! But what's cool is you get to see the last 200 years of history of Norway. And it's cool because you see the architecture, you see how things were going and things like that. And no, it's not all Vikings here. And that's really kind of a cool thing. That's why those are my 2 favorite things to do here. The Viking Ship Museum and here in the Folk Museum. But I like that kind of stuff, all right? Now, if you like other kinds of artwork and galleries, one place you should definitely go is the National Gallery here. Yes, they have the typical European masters of Monet and things like that. But what you want to go there is for the Scream by Edvard Munch. That is the painting and the painter of Norway, and so you got to go see that when it's there. The 4th thing you can do when you are here is actually go to the Munch Museum to see more of his work, because he did more than just the Scream. Okay, there's a lot more things that he did do, and he was a pretty prolific artist in a lot of different periods, so it's really kind of cool to check out. So that's the 4th thing, the Munch Museum. Now, the 5th thing you're going to do when you come here is go into the Akerhus Palace, or the Akerhus Castle and Fortress. When you go there, that's when you're taking the ferry over to the peninsula to see these things. You'll see a castle on the hill, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's where you're going. They have the staterooms there. They have the changing of the guard there. You can see and go and check that out, and it is really kind of a cool thing to do. And it's open on Mondays, so hey, that's always a nice thing. But it is a nice thing to do if you want to see kind of the history of here. And there's a lot of great history museums and stuff like that here in Oslo, because the Norwegians are very proud of their history, and they've done a very good job of preserving that history and sharing that history. Now, the 6th thing, I'm going to put a lot of things together because these are the kind of traditional things you should see when you go to cities. You have the Rådhus, the town hall, which isn't that spectacular, but you should check it out when you're here. You have the Cathedral, which is probably the one church you do want to check out when you do come to Oslo. And then you have the new masterpiece, the Oslo Opera House, where it's supposed to be like a glacier going in, as they say, but you can walk on the roof and all kinds of things. And it's really kind of an amazing architectural feat, and it is really kind of a cool place to check out. So that's number 6, the town hall, the cathedral, and then going to the opera house and seeing that. Now, the 7th thing, again, I'm going to just put a lot of things together here, is going to the cool kind of places to go check out, the kind of cool museums. One, you have the Freedom Center, the Nobel Freedom Center, where they have the Nobel Prize and Peace Prize. It's actually given here in Oslo, not in Stockholm, and so they have a museum on that, so you can see that. That's kind of a cool thing to check out. It's right on the harbor where you take your ferry over here. That's cool. When you're over here in the peninsula, you can go to the Fram Museum, and that's where the guys that went to, Norwegians are great explorers for the Arctic and Antarctic, and you can see the ships they went down to the Antarctic. You can see the stuff they had, the things they lived with for the months they did these harrowing journeys. It is kind of a cool thing to check out. And another one is the Kon-Tiki Museum. There was a Norwegian guy that said, you know what, I think people from Peru went to Polynesia. So he actually built a raft and went from Peru to Polynesia to show that, they could have come from South America. And there's a lot of these cool museums like this in town that you want to check out. That's why I kind of wrap them all together as the cool museums, okay, for number 7. Number 8, when you're here, you want to eat something. So what you should try to do is eat reindeer, elk, salmon, and Kvikk lunch, okay? That's like a Kit Kat kind of thing. That's their favorite little candy here. Have that. The elk and reindeer, you can find it in steak form. Salmon, there's all kinds of different kind of salmon you can have here. Always very good. Cinnamon rolls are always nice here as well. The canal, I think a bula, I think is what they call them. Also, one thing you might want to try when you are here is our Norwegian hot dog. Different thing here is you might see some that look like they're wrapped in a tortilla. Well, have that one, try that one, get a special sauce on it and eat that just so you can try it, because all the Scandinavians love their hot dogs and everyone thinks they're the best, but you should try that when you are here. So eat some of those things. But you should know it's very expensive to eat here in Norway, and not just in Oslo, but anywhere in Norway. And so just know that maybe you're going to eat one meal out, so eat a big meal at your hotel in the morning, and then you can have like a late lunch, early dinner to have a second meal, because otherwise your budget is going to be blown, because this place it's insane expensive here. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you about that. That's why a lot of these things you can do, get the Oslo Pass. Okay, the Oslo Pass is basically gives you free transport and the ferries, the buses, trams, all that kind of stuff, and it gives you entry into a lot of the museums in town. So two birds, one stone. It's not cheap, but you know what? It's cheaper than going to all the museums and doing all these things separately. So I would look into getting the Oslo Pass. Well worth it. Now the ninth thing you should do when you're here is walk Karl Johans Gate, okay? The main drag on there with the shopping street, the pedestrian street when you're coming down. At one end you have the Royal Palace, so you can get your nice pictures and stuff like that. The other end you go down, well eventually you'll get to the you'll get to the central station, but you go on there, there's lots of cool architecture, there's a lot of cool shops, restaurants, bars are there. If you're on the weekends, that's late night, that's where a lot of people are going out, kind of stuff like that. But when you walk around, you can see the architecture and see, wow, you can see some cool old and modern architecture on there. I just kind of like that walk around. And the thing is, you can hit a lot of the sites I talked about doing that. You can go down, you can right off there, you can see the Cathedral, you can see that. The other end, you got the Royal Palace at the other end. It is kind of a nice thing. And the 10th thing you should do when you're in Oslo is get out of Oslo. Yes, I'm telling you to get out of the city. And what's cool is Oslo is situated, the public transport is really good here. So in 20 minutes, you're out of town. You're in the forest. You could go skiing in the winter, or you could go hiking in the summer. You know what? You can go to the Holmenkollen ski jump and check that out. Or you can take a boat tour out to the fjords and see these things. There's so much outdoor activities just right outside of Oslo that you can have a city weekend and still get into the country at the same time. Anyway, those are my 10 things that I like to do when I'm here in Oslo. I mean, the first time I was here was 20 years ago. My mom and I were reminiscing about seeing these things and how much it's changed. I know, it's kind of crazy. Even the goat thinks it changed. Anyway, I hope you have a great time here in Oslo. We do have more videos, if you like this one, on our website, woltersworld.com, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/woltersworld. So if you want to subscribe, click the button down there and you'll get more videos every week on traveling. 5 things you love and hate about Norway, 10 things that'll shock you about France, all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions and your viewing, and we hope you guys and you gals and you travelers have a fantastic time here in Oslo. Bye from Oslo. Ta-da! Hello, my fellow Viking friends. I'm